back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and Wong has certainly emerged as the breakout hero of Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we should have known this was coming based on his hilariously meta line in Avengers Endgame.
Is that everyone?
What, you wanted more?
And after roles in Shang-Chi, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Multiverse of Madness, he's now in She-Hulk, where Wong has shown what delightful madness the Sorcerer Supreme can get up to, from helping a supervillain get out of prison and binging The Sopranos and This Is Us, to suing magicians out of business and banishing demonic bat goblins back to hell. But when the dust settles from the Mephisto hints of this episode, a few odd details remain that clue us into Wong's future as the Sorcerer Supreme and what threats the MCU will face in Phase 5. When Wong realizes the magician Donnie Blaze sent Madisynn through hell, and that there the talking goat demon Jake, Mephisto, sent her to Kamar-Taj with a bloody heart, he knew something was horribly wrong. And not just because Madisynn spoiled a big twist in The Sopranos.
You just ruined it.
But The Sopranos might actually have a bit more to do with it than we think, because Wong, as Sorcerer Supreme, is alleged to have some future knowledge of destined events. The Ancient One knew as far back as 2012 that Stephen Strange was destined to become a sorcerer. Doctor Strange knew quite a bit about the future, all the futures, by using the Time Stone to look at 14,605 alternate futures. And we just learned that Wong remembers that Strange used a Runes of Kafkal memory wipe in Spider-Man No Way Home, even if he may not remember that a kid named Peter Parker was the subject of that spell. But either way, he knows more about the past, present, and future than most people do. But if you think about it, the plot events of a late 90s, early 2000s critically acclaimed prestige TV series might be one of the few storylines that might still come to Wong as a surprise, making watching the show super important to him. In the 2016 Doctor Strange film and in Infinity War, we learned how this librarian of Kamar-Taj took great enjoyment in exposing himself to pop culture delights from the normal world, from listening to Beyonce and Adele to trying out new deli sandos and some Ben & Jerry's ice cream. But in this episode, he has a few interesting lines that tell us a lot about the power hierarchy of the MCU, like when he tells Jen,
We answer to a higher power that abides by the metaphysical laws of the time-space continuum.
No judge is going to take this seriously unless we do things by the book.
Book of Ashanti.
No, the Book of American laws.
I was gonna call out Jen and say it's called the Constitution, but actually it's more complicated than that. There's also state constitutions, state and federal laws, state and federal statutes, hundreds of years of precedent, judicial principles. So yeah, it's really not as simple as it all being in like a Book of Ashanti. But I find the line from Wong fascinating because it makes us wonder what higher power Wong answers to. The go-to answer would probably be the Living Tribunal, who has made nearly as many cameos in Marvel Phase 4 as Wong has. First as a crumbled statue head in The Void and Loki, then as a series of heads in their own realm in Multiverse of Madness, and then as one of the 7 cosmic entities in the chamber in Thor Love and Thunder. The Living Tribunal would be the godly power who oversees all metaphysical laws of the multiverse. We also know from the 2016 film that one of the sorcerer's weapons is the staff of the Living Tribunal.
This is the staff of the Living Tribunal.
But also notice how Wong calls it the time-space continuum, which is such a fun little inversion from what this concept is actually called in theoretical physics, the space-time continuum. This comes from Einstein's theory of relativity, in which space is seen as a dimension interwoven with time, and that time can dilate depending on your vantage point of where you are in space. And really, other than the way physicists have chosen to codify this as space-time, there really is no reason we couldn't call it time-space, because the two concepts are interwoven and each can affect the other. Maybe the actor Benedict Wong mixed it up and they just kept it in because why not? But an argument could be made that this tells us something about the way the sorcerers view reality, that time comes first, which makes sense as the former keepers of the Time Stone and these warnings we heard from Wong and from Mordo and the Ancient One about the importance of leaving the timelines alone and unaffected. So Rings of Power is here, which means it is time to start filling that brain with as much Middle-earth arcana as you can. There's no better place to do that than on Audible, the sponsor of this video. Audible offers an incredible selection of audiobooks across every genre, from bestsellers and new releases to celebrity memoirs, mysteries, thrillers, motivation, and more. You'll discover exclusive Audible originals from top celebrities, renowned experts, and exciting new voices in audio. And since we're talking about Rings of Power, I feel like I should mention that on Audible, you can hear Andy Serkis reading Fellowship of the Ring.
I am himself, he's incredible.
I used to be able to do that.
Precious! Ah!
As an Audible member, you can choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog, including the latest bestsellers and new releases. All Audible members now also get access to a growing selection of titles included with membership that you can listen to all you want. The selection includes audiobooks, Audible originals, and podcasts. More get added every month. The Audible app makes it easy to listen anytime, anywhere. Have it on your phone and you can listen during your commute, while tidying up around the house, or while heading down to Celebrimboard's jewelry store to get a ring of power all your own. New members can try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/newrockstars or text New Rockstars to 500-500. Which brings us to another interesting warning from Wong that he brought up in the courtroom.
One man in the mortal realm has the ability to cause a ripple so great it reverberates through every dimension. And that ripple through galaxies has the ability to destroy all life within the known and unknown universe.
Now, Wong here might have just been making another typical dire warning to scare everyone in the room about reckless usage of magic and sling rings, but the guy is also speaking from experience. Wong is essentially referring here to Nexus beings, one person strong enough to ripple through every dimension, something that he just faced with the Scarlet Witch. But again, Wong's wording is interesting. He first says every dimension and then says that ripple through galaxies. Like him saying time-space continuum, he's categorizing his sorcerer terminology within the language of astrophysics, which reminds us of the way that shot in the opening of the Loki season 1 finale seemed to depict one universe as being contained within a black hole and then a neighboring black hole containing another separate universe. Wong might be suggesting here that on some level, the barriers between realities do break down on an astrophysical scale. So what does all this mean for Wong and the other sorcerers and the other Marvel heroes in Phase 5? Well, three things at least. First, I think they are bound by the laws of the Living Tribunal, and now that the Book of Vishanti has been destroyed, in the gap junction between realities, suggesting that it might have been the only one of these in the multiverse, that sooner or later these characters are going to have to appeal directly to Living Tribunal to rule on things. Don't be surprised if we get a trial between Wong with She-Hulk as the prosecutor. Second, Wong is likely aware of Kang and the threats that Kang poses to this time-space continuum. The fact that Wong calls it the time-space continuum tells us that he and Kang are already speaking the same kind of negotiating terms. Third, I think Wong was really freaked out by that heart that Madisynn brought back with her from hell. Why did she have this? Whose heart was this? Why did Jake, the demonic talking goat, send her to Camartage with it? I don't think there's any way of seeing this bloody organ other than as a threat. Jake, Mephisto, is sending this to Wong to send a message. That message could be that these incursions are not just happening between universes, they're also happening between universes and these surreal, fantastical realms that border those universes. Realms like hell, the dark dimension, the Nord dimension, the shadow realm, the mirror dimension, the astral plane. That's essentially what Wong is referring to when he said,
Practicing the mystic arts without proper training not only endangers people, it risks untethering the material and astral planes.
this isn't just incursions between the 838 reality and the 616 reality, it's also incursions between those realities and the nightmarish Salvador Dali painting realities that they border, that are filled with scary, interdimensional, surrealist, Lovecraftian beasts, like the goblins we saw in this episode, and soon things like vampires, werewolves, and zombies. So that heart might even belong to the soul of the version of Doctor Strange that I speculate may be trapped in hell right now, because one of those souls of the damned totally remained in the eye of the soul of 616 Strange as he dreamwalked into the corpse of Defender Strange. Strange cast out many of those souls of the damned, but one turned inward and buried itself deeper inside him. That might explain why that third eye opens on his forehead in the final shot. Strange's soul might be claimed by hell at this moment, and the master of hell is sending his heart back to the MCU's Tony Soprano as an offering to make a deal. So yeah, I don't think it's that crazy to speculate that Wong's love of the Sopranos might come from him seeing himself as part of the Sopranos of the multiverse. 5 heads of the families, and Wong is the New Jersey head that the others just shit on. But like in the final season of The Sopranos, now those heads are starting to get whacked. Actually, Phil Leotardo's death was pretty similar to Black Bolt's death.
Oh shit!
And now Wong is looking over his shoulder thinking he might be next, and that the whole multiverse will just end with a blackout. I wish I had the balls to just end the video that way, but I got some plugs to get through. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars. Subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching, and don't stop believing.